The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
1420 Sports Bar Podcast, for beer, the sports talk, and a whole lot more. Join host Brent Radlinsky as he bellies up to the bar and gets the conversations going that'll make you think you're sitting in your local watering room. It's sports, beer, and shenanigans, so sit back, grab a few beers, and let's get into it. The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, for beer, the sports talk, and a whole lot more. Today's show, as always, is brought to you by SeatGeek.com, the SeatGeek app. Use promo code BELLYUP over there at SeatGeek and save yourself $20 on your first purchase. Remember, we are part of that Belly Up Media Network. Go to bellyupsports.com for all their great articles. Today, we are joined by Nathan Andrews, who's Full Count Chaos, one of the best Baltimore Oriole podcasts out there. And how you doing, Nathan?
Hey, thank you for that. Appreciate that. I'm good. Thanks for having me on. Always enjoy talking baseball, I guess. So as I said that, I'm like, do I enjoy still talking baseball this year? But no,
well,
yeah.
It's funny how you say do you enjoy it. Like I say it all the time. I used to love baseball. And then your team goes into a slump and your team doesn't get going. And that was the thing with the Orioles this year. We talked a long time ago about this, but this team just never got it going and just got off to an awful start. And I was listening to your show a few days ago, and just talking about how I've said this before 1,000 times. You can't win the World Series in April, but you sure can lose it. And the Baltimore Orioles, they were a case in point for that statement right there.
That's exactly right. That's why, again, big pet peeve of mine. And I get it. You don't want to have a heart attack April 8th when your team loses. But at the same time, there's a reason why, you don't want to lose these close games, or you don't want your team to crap the bed, because it's true, man. Because look, I mean, if the Orioles just had an average first couple months, man, it'd be a lot different right now. Now, because there's so many injuries, do they have the pieces to win? I don't know, but it goes to show you, April and May, they do count. The first week of April does count. Like,
well, I laugh when you say there's a pet peeve of yours, because that makes me laugh so much. It's well, then why do they keep scoring those months if it's early? If it's early, it doesn't matter. Then why keep scoring? Well, we're just practicing. Let's just have inter squad scrimmage. Like the hell with it.
Point, right? It's a great point, right? Why even keep score? So yeah, they boy, did they put themselves in a bad position. And I think by June it was frustrating, because Orioles fans, we kept hearing, no team in baseball since 1896 has done, so we kind of knew. It's like, since no team has ever done this in baseball, if they make the playoffs, and we were hearing that like at the end of May going into June. So, it was just, but hey, why not? Why not our team to be the first team to do it? But
eventually someone's got to do it.
They
made the managerial trade, got rid of Brandon Hyde, and he had some comments in the, I think it was on ESPN or something last week about maybe bringing up Jackson Holliday a little bit too early. What's your thoughts on that? Because I kind of said that last year when I said, geez, he just doesn't look. This is just an eye testing. This is me.
No, I remember you saying that. Yeah.
If I'm wrong, then tell me. But he just doesn't seem to have that major league look about him. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what. It's just that. And he hasn't really. I mean, he's got a few home runs, but he's hitting 207. And I'm a big batting average matters guy.
Yeah, I'm an old school guy too. I still look at the average and OPS. I know there's like probably 4,000 stats these days that you can go down, but yeah, I'm the old school guy. I first look at the average and then we go from there. Yeah, I remember you and I last spoke, and I remember you saying that, and there is an obvious reason why you thought that. And I was at that time trying to tell you, like, oh man, there's flashes of Jackson that he's going to be incredible and this and that. And I remember there was this one time, and I swear I thought you and I talked about this, maybe not, but his dad had to come into the picture to fix his batting.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and that worked for a little bit, and then you're looking at some of these games where you're like, oh man, Jackson, he's gonna be a hell of a player, and even his defense right now is a little average. But yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, I think they did rush him up. Of course, when you're an Orioles fan, you're like, oh, who cares? It's fun, it's great. Let's bring him on. Yeah, I think they rushed him up because they had to put him back down in the minors because it was just awful. Right now, I don't know. I don't know if we're still watching growing pains. I hope so. Because if
the thing is, Nathan, eventually your body of work is your body of work. And this is what you are. I mean, can you get better? Yeah, you can, 100% you can get better, but like eventually you're like, oh Jesus, this vaunted prospect and high draft pick, and like not every
Not
prospect
every
and
draft
draft
pick
pick
works
makes
out.
it.
I think it's only like 60% of like number one draft picks that actually work out to be successful. So yeah, Jackson may just be one of them. I don't know. Again, we see games like last night and last week where you're just like, man, if he can figure this out, like he's just, he's great at the bat. He is improving. I mean, there, like his chase rate and stats like that, he's doing a lot better. But yeah, 207 average, and he's getting, these slumps he's getting in. I just hope we're watching growing pains and he's gonna work out of this. But you're right, after a while, it's what it is.
And like
What it is.
and I hate using this bloody word. I hate to use rebuild because eventually, when is that done? Like you're constantly rebuilding. Like I'm more.
That's
of
one of those words that make my eye twitch when I.
Yeah, you got to get into a point, hopefully, where you're regrouping and not rebuilding all the time, because that's a whole different subject. And regrouping, you lose a guy, you can insert a new guy here. The Orioles just can't seem to do that. Like, they're like, what are they going to do with Gunnar Henderson? Like that's going to be
scary. I mean, he's got Boris, sitting there. I don't know. I don't know. And I hate to be that guy to be like, well, if you see what's going on in the front office and the GM and the way they've been handling things, would you want to stay here? I hate talking like that, but it's in the conversation. I don't know what's going to happen with Gunnar. The rumor was that they did offer Gunnar a contract, and I'm sure obviously Boris was like, get out of my face. Scott Boris, God, he's a tough one.
Well, is it kind of like the contract that Soto got offered when he was going to leave the Nationals how many years ago now, right?
Right.
So is it kind of like that? Well, it's good PR stunt for the Orioles saying, we offered him $440 million over 10, right?
Yeah, that's what's concerning. That I think they're going to have to offer Gunnar a dump load of money. I don't know. Lately I've been saying, because my nickname's Negative Nate, so maybe this has a lot to do with it. But I've been telling fans a lot, guys, just enjoy Gunnar Henderson right now as we're watching him. That's all I can tell you. The next couple years, just enjoy him, because I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. It would be so, because it's like that Manny Machado PTSD. It's like, the last piece of that trade is Dean Kramer, who not good. So if we're gonna lose Gunnar Henderson, just please don't screw it up with the trade. Like, please do it right this time, because the way that it went down with Manny Machado, I'm sure you're familiar with that name. Yeah. There's one guy remaining out of that busload of guys that we got, and he's probably going to be gone this year. So that's all I have to say about Gunnar. Enjoy him, and if we don't keep him, don't screw it up.
And at what point do you get him when the market's high, and do you get rid of him, or do you try to it's such a fine line, because if you're pretty much already saying, Nate, that they're going to have to get a deal for him because they're not going to be able to sign him. And at what point do you got to get ahead of your skis a little bit and say, geez, we're probably not going to win this year, and you can't trade him now. Are we going to win next year? So what's our team time frame to get this done? Great. If we got him till 2028, then 26 and 27 are right around the corner. Like, what are we doing? Like, that's why was this season just an epiphany? Was it just a one-off? Was it just an oops to get out of the gate? Because we were a playoff team 2 years in a row prior to this. There's a lot of buts and what ifs when it comes to these guys and their contracts. And what do? Like, because the court of public opinion is very stupid at times. If they don't get something for them before 2027 rolls or ends up, they'll be pissed off about that. So you're not going to please everybody all the time. And it's such a fine line on how you deal with these things.
I know. And it is scary, because the closer you get to him being free agent, the other teams know, and they're not going to obviously work with you as well as you would in 2027, because you have time, obviously. So that's why 2026 this year, not only just because Gunnar Henderson, just go down the list of why next year is so damn important. And what's interesting, and I said this on the podcast about a week or so ago, and I don't know if this means anything. I don't know if the owner, Rubenstein, is just trying to get the fans fired up. But lately, And the last time he did this, it was last week. It was a home game, and fans were walking back, and Rubenstein was getting in his limo, and the fans were all like, hey, saying whatever, hope we do better. And Rubenstein goes, you guys wait until 2026. I'm telling you, just wait. Don't know what that means. So
it could mean it could get worse, dude.
Right. Yeah.
It might actually get worse than anything.
Right. It could mean
you think this is bad? Wait till next year.
Wait, I'm out of here. Everyone's out of here. You just wait. You think this is bad?
Yeah.
So I don't
know.
It's huge. It's huge. I mean, Elias, I think Rubenstein, they just need to make a big splash. Yes, because I think that has a lot to do with, does Gunnar want to stay? Are the Orioles willing to spend the money? It sucks that they're even in this position, because again, I thought these conversations that I'd be having were just completely different, but we are where we are. But yeah, the conversations pertaining about Gunnar, they're getting kind of icky lately.
What are you going to do with Adley Rutschman? Right? Like
that's a big one. That's a huge conversation, because now you're even seeing like top sports media guys talking about, I don't know if it's actually leaked information or they're just trying to do clickbait. They just signed Basayo. We got a decent catcher, Jackson. I don't know. Adley, he's been in a slump for the past year and a half, 2 years. I don't know. It's so weird. I don't know. I wish I could break it down for you and go, here's what's going to happen. I don't know. That's a tricky one, because you talk to some people and they're like, yeah, it's a bad time to trade him, by the way. Let's get to that. If you're going to trade him, you missed your opportunity, because right now he's not,
he's very low
guy.
bar right now. Yeah. So, like, are they going to try to transfer in a different position? But this Basayo kid looks like the real deal. They gave him
Basayo played first base the other night. I went to the game when Kyle Bradish came back the first night, and my God, 10 strikeouts, 6 innings. But Basayo looked like the real deal. Just make splits and digging balls out. He looked really good at first base. And in the minor leagues, catching defense was his problem. So pertaining to Adley, I said on the podcast, if I woke up tomorrow and heard they traded him, I wouldn't be surprised if they continue to stick with him, because, Elias is like, well, this is our first draft pick during the rebuild, and we don't want to, break up with them this quickly. I wouldn't be surprised either. That's a great question. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird situation. It's really weird.
It would be so much easier if they were winning. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go, okay, he's staying. Yeah, we're going to add pieces, add this, add that. But when you don't, and you come off of two playoff appearances, and they didn't do any good, but there's still 2 playoff appearances, right? And that's more than has happened in the past, and it's not a bad thing. And then all of a sudden you have negative Nancy's coming around and negative Nate's coming around, thinking, okay, what are we going to do here? And there's just so many questions, and what are we going to do? And are we just in this constant rebuild in Baltimore? Because
that's what's frustrating. That's what it feels like. It does. It constantly feels like tryouts. It's like rebuild. It's frustrating. Now, if you ask me what I want to do with Adley, in my heart and my gut, I want to give him just a tad bit more. I feel kind of guilty. He's got a little bit of a slump, because look, he was in the home run. He put a show on in the home run derby, right-handed, left-handed. Yeah. Guy almost won the home run derby. I mean, the guy, he's great behind the plate. He doesn't have the best arm, but in my gut and my heart, it's just like, I don't know, man. You give him a little more time, because he's a great defender back behind the plate. But with that signing, I know Basayo, it got a lot of conversations about Adley.
Well, is he movable?
Tough,
right
man. That's a tough conversation.
He's probably not even movable right now, because for whatever money he's making, I think he's on one of those one every year kind of deals. Get another contract, whatever it's going to be. And just what the heck's going on? So what in here, like, other than not winning games, not scoring enough runs, because that's how you win ball games, what went wrong? Like, what went wrong early? Because they've been okay, like you said, they've been just around 500 since that horrific start come June. But what went wrong? Like, what just you don't score enough runs? I know that's just math.
You could have made two. You could make probably 2 teams out of the injuries we've had. So, and I know all teams have injuries. That's everything. Everyone you battle that every year. But I will say, to kind of defend, Michael Elias before I, rip his head off. It's just crazy. The injuries. I mean, I think, God, I'm probably a little off here. 25 players altogether that were on the IL, injured and shifting players around, and Grayson and the pitching. Oh, the pitching, Eflin was done. He was supposed to be a big pitcher. Grayson, Kyle Bradish, who was out all season. We were counting on guys like Cade Povich, Brandon Young, which is ironic. I'm crapping on him because he almost threw a no-hitter in Houston the other night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if he would have just
win, you can't
that no hitter. I think if he would have just held the baseball and breathed a little bit and got some balance, he might have made that play. I think he because he rushed it and he shit his pants almost. I think is what happened there.
Yeah,
and if he would have just try to plant and make a better throw, he might have got him, and he might have got one of those. The umpire might have given him a call, one of those deals. Who knows? But yeah, he just shit his pants.
He did shit the bed which is ironic because the guy that was running was Urias, who we just let go like 2 days before because we were trade at the deadline. We were sellers. So that was one of our players. And we know it takes him an hour and a half to run from home to first. So that's what was so frustrating. Like you could have planted your foot, kind of itched your back a little bit, had a conversation with Gunnar, and then thrown him out. So it was so frustrating that he rushed it. But even though they won, it's funny when you see, you're like, oh my God, he was 4 outs away.
Yeah.
It was just devastating that whole night. It's like, yeah, the Orioles won, but poor kid.
When do you start paying attention? Like when do you go like second time through the order? It's top of 7. Are you like a 6th inning guy for a perfect game or no hitter? Like when do you yourself go? Don't say anything. Just shut your mouth. But I'm
after the 4th inning. I may sound early, but once it goes into the 5th inning, my wife will come in and she'll look. I go, yeah. So don't even say
I'm early like that too.
Yeah. I am, and then I'll have friends someone will text me like, "Are you seeing what Brandon's?" Shut it. Like, but then what drives me nuts is Ben McDonald, who was a pitcher for the Orioles, and then Kevin Brown, who's an announcer. He does it all the time. You would think they know like the unwritten rules of baseball superstition, but every inning after the 5th, oh my God, he's pitching a perfect game, and I'm surprised Ben McDonald doesn't like elbow him like. Stop doing that.
What's funny is I remember Vin Scully talking about that, but Vin Scully was also around in the 40s when there wasn't the internet, when you could see what the line score is instantaneously, right? So it was Scully's job to actually say it's a perfect game because you couldn't go back on the line score online or whatever it was. So it was a lot different back then. But like ex-players, you would think that they would just shut their yaps, like just don't say a word.
Even announcers, like it's funny. I've watched. Yankees and Red Sox and Tampa Bay Red, or whoever. I've heard the other announcers even say on TV, well, folks, something's happening, pass the word along, but they won't say it. It's just a silly superstition, but God damn, our announcers, shut up. Like,
and then the announcers have the nerve to say, well, I didn't cause it, but it's stupid, the superstition. Well, if you know it's a superstition and you know that people are going to get mad, shut your yap.
And I'm big at superstition. Like even football, I remember our kicker, Justin Tucker, poor guy. He's going to be known for something else now. But anyway, they would
see how quickly he's forgotten about, right?
Oh, God. It would, what's his name? Who does the Sunday night games. Anyway, they'd be saying that too. Oh, Justin Tucker hasn't missed under 40 yards in 3 years, bank hits the bar and goes off. And you're like, why did you say it? So anyway, watching that kid, Brandon Young, have just literally throw his no-hitter perfect game away. That was so frustrating. But going back to that with your question, pitching. I mean, all our guys that we counted on and we're counting on to come back, just injury after injury. And, pitching. You can't keep winning games 12 to 15 to 12, 14 to 10, 10 to 8. It's eventually going to catch up. But at the same time, the offense, I think we broke some records this year with runners in scoring position, 0 for 20 and stuff like that. So that's what I mean when I say it's such a weird, bizarre season. It's it's hard to figure out, like, what the hell happened with you guys? Like, it's just, I don't know, man. That's why I always say, there's going to be a Netflix documentary of this team in 2025.
You look in the National League too. It's the same kind of team, the same kind of thing that happened with them. The Atlanta Braves, people were picking them to go to the World Series, and
Yep.
look, and they got off to a horrendous start as well, and just could never get it going. And
That's why
it got late early for them too, and it was just done. And then
it's weird. Sports is weird, man. That's why I say don't take it for granted. Like when I would hear conversations, even with the front office of the Orioles about basically, you kind of had to read between the lines with we're not going all in and we're not going to be spending it's like, I don't know. Well, we want to be good for the next 10 years. I just never take it for granted because you can't assume, we're going to be good for the next 10, 15 years. Like when you have that opportunity, go all in. I'm not saying, empty the bank, but make some big moves.
Make a move or two, and then show show interest to the guys that are already on your roster.
Right.
Give them a reason to want to stick around.
Because even if they blow it and they don't lose, and let's say the same thing happened where the Orioles got swept last year and the year before, even if the Orioles made a big move, I think the fans will go, all right, well, shit happens, but we tried. But when your GM just doesn't do anything, it's like, that stings. And I think that was a lot of conversation too with fans thinking of, the vibe around the clubhouse and seeing at the front office and the GM, they're just, the moves that they made and didn't make for the past 3 years, kind of pissed you off.
That could be a seal a deal for a guy like Henderson as well. Like, okay, what am I doing here? Like, I know I'm gonna get paid. I'm gonna be rich beyond I could ever imagine.
Yeah, right. Do I want to be rich here? Or do I want to be rich on the West Coast on the beach? Right.
And do I, like these guys have all the money in the world, but like when their legacy comes around, and maybe it's getting a little bit in front of things, but when your Hall of Fame induction speech comes, it doesn't have the bank account numbers on it. It has how many championships you won. And maybe that's a thing, right? Like it doesn't, and that's a huge thing for a lot of these guys that are, those type of players. Cause a
lot of people are like, oh, they're just, worried about the money. And as long as they get paid, that's not true. A lot, these kids got into sports when they were young to win, and they have it in them. Yes, of course it'd be fun to be rich. Who wouldn't want to be rich? But they do want to win. That's why I always felt bad for Mike Trout.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's happy. He's loving life. He's paid. He's got money. God damn. I was like, get him on a winning team. So yeah,
you think he would have asked for something at some point, like, or is Mike Trout, and because I've had the voices between my head have been talking about this a lot too, has Trout just is that who he is? He doesn't care if he wins because he's getting paid, and he could have demanded a trade how many times, being an anonymity in Anaheim. By the time first pitch is thrown in Anaheim, you're already you're sleeping most of the time. Right?
Maybe he's just one of those thankful guys. Like, I'm just thankful that a team believes in me and pays, so I don't want to ruffle the feathers. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. Like, I feel like in a way, almost that's how I would be. Like, if I was a good player and the team wanted to spend tons of money, I would feel kind of shitty to be like, hey guys, appreciate it, but
I gotta go.
Get me out of here. I want to go to a winning team. I always think about that. Like, I think some of these players are just like, well,
that's another thing there, Nate, is that like a team makes a commitment to you, or even like whatever job you might have. I mean, if they made a commitment to you long term for a contract, whatever, you kind of should be kind of obligated to stick it out.
Right.
I mean,
I know. And, I see it more and more in football lately. Baseball, every now and then that comes up. But I agree with you 100%. The team believes in you and they pay you some loot. That'd be a hard conversation to have, in my opinion. So maybe, guys like Trout, why he didn't bring that up.
Like there's I don't know how much you follow hockey, but like Sidney Crosby out in Pittsburgh, they aren't going to do any winning anytime soon. Like, right. They're just not. And he's taken team friendly deal after team friendly deal at $8.7 million, and that's just my contract. And he probably has 3 or 4 years left in him, and that's it. And they're 3 or 4 years away from making the playoffs, let alone winning a round. And so you wonder, like, it's when do you call it good with these guys? Let's switch lanes a little bit here, Nate. Major League Baseball a couple weeks ago, it's actually 2 weeks ago today, I think it was, when they
Ranford was at the Little League Classic there in Williamsport, and he got talking about expansion and realignment and everything else that's going along with it. And Baltimore's going to end up in a division with the Pirates and maybe a team out in Charlotte and the Washington Nationals if this all comes to fruition. What's your thoughts on that?
It's yeah. I don't know what to make it at. I don't know. You know, I tried to almost make it a segment on the podcast, but I'm like, there's not too much to say. I think that would have been a thing because now they changed where we don't play teams as much as we used to in our division. Like it used to be, you know, compared to how many times we play the division. Now they kind of split it up. So I don't know. Again, I could be missing the big picture here, but it's almost like if they do that,
I'm glad you're as confused as I am because I didn't understand it either. Yeah.
So it's like when it gets brought up, it's like, all right, well, maybe that would be neat, something new, different. Whatever. I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird conversation to have because I can't think of like a great reason why they do it or a bad reason, but I could see how that would almost make sense if they were playing the teams in the division as much as they used to, because I'm not mistaken, they did lower that, right? I'm not going crazy here. They did lower the games of how many times we play. Yeah. So maybe 10, 15 years ago, maybe I could see it make sense because it's like, yeah, they don't want to travel to Toronto 100 times a year. So I don't know. What do you think?
They play 18, 19 times in your division or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Right? So you see Red Sox, Yankees, it seemed like every weekend, right?
Right. And so
then so now they've cut that down, and now there's more. And because you have interleague all the time, because it's 15 teams in each league, which they should probably change, so you don't have to have interleague every day because it's just math once again. So that's why they're trying to add a couple new teams. I don't know. Like you still like a little bit of tradition. I mean,
that's
Baltimore would be in a completely different division and not have a rival anymore. Like you wouldn't.
But then it would be the Orioles, Yankees, and Red Sox in the playoffs every year.
Yeah, that might. So it might be one of those
things. Win the division every year. I know, right?
Would it help baseball? I don't know. I think there's some bigger issues in baseball that got to get fixed other than realignment.
Oh,
and try to drum up some juice that way. But
so that was my first reaction. It was I didn't really have I don't even remember my knee-jerk reaction of being like, well, this is stupid. I just remember being like, okay.
Mine was like, why? And then I kind of, conspiracy theory in me kind of go, well, maybe that's because of the impending doom of the collective bargaining agreement after 2026. So maybe it's one of those things. Look over here.
Yeah,
while we do this over here,
right?
Because that is coming. So it's, I didn't understand the reasoning why behind it. And
I was reading more into it, and I was like, all right, well, let me read this article and see if I can. It was just all kind of, I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, if it happens, okay. It's not like I'm going to stop being a fan or picket outside the stadium. But
I understand the expansion thing to an extent. You know, going into I know nothing about Charlotte. I'm not even going to pretend to. But there's other places I think that they got to fix.
Charlotte and Nashville, right?
Nashville,
yeah.
I know Nashville really like their hockey team since they got there. They're killing it, right? And with the Predators.
Yeah,
but,
I was surprised about that actually. But...
I was too. I thought there's no way this is going to work. And then what do I know? But I just think that there's some inherent problems in baseball already without adding more teams.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Like you look at Pittsburgh, they did it again with IKF this year. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa got rid of him before he could get his bonus. Just the same thing they did with Rowdy Tellez last year. And it's just a really ugly look that baseball just allows that to happen.
So ugly. Yeah, that was bad.
And I don't understand why the baseball doesn't step in with that kind of stuff first.
They add it, right? They're just quiet.
I think there's just other things that they should be fixing about the game first and doing that. Does baseball have a lot of problems? I don't think so. I mean,
how do you feel about the season length and the time? Like of course, I like how the pitch clock. They were Ben McDonald was talking about that the other night, that he was thankful that they do have that pitch clock because he was giving examples of players that he used to pitch against, in and out of the batter's box, adjusting their batting gloves, and 3.5 minutes later, we'd finally see him pitch. So that I was on the side that I like that. But how do you feel, which I know will never happen, but shortening the season?
I think they should. I just
I agree.
yesterday. Let's just go. I really think that they should go down to, if they started the playoffs next week, it wouldn't hurt
Yeah.
anything. You're already losing. You've already lost how many fans yesterday
Yeah.
watching college football, right? And it's
Exactly. Right.
and I dare to say that college football is bigger because it's regional and everything, especially because college football is just
Yeah.
as
They
regional
want
as
to compete
baseball
with
is.
football in the month of September.
And
It's
so
like
it doesn't work. So now just yesterday, how many games weren't getting watched? How many baseball games weren't getting watched
100%.
because college
Yeah.
football was in full swing yesterday?
But
And
I
how
know the
many?
owners are like, that's too much money. We're going to be losing. I don't know. I think more fans would go, more fans would pay attention. It'd be almost more of like an event instead of like why do I want to go in June to see him? Well, there's only a couple months left. So yeah, I've always
If you cut out the first 2 weeks in April where the weather's shitty, and then
sure. Yep.
you have the playoffs starting on September 15th or September whatever. How the playoffs
I
going then,
agree.
and just compact it somehow, some way, get it down to 150 games.
It's also look, people their attention span is just out the window these days anyway. I know they're trying to focus on the younger crowd, but that's tough. You're going to continue to have, 3-hour games and almost a whole entire year of season. It's going to be tough. But yeah, just I mean, circling back your original question about with divisions, I don't know. I don't really have a whatever if you do, whatever if you don't. But I think you're right. I think they have bigger issues and situations they need to take care of before they start doing that.
I just think that they got to find a way to I mean, I'm not a huge I've never actually watched it, but the banana ball phenomenon, right? Like it's there. Like there's a reason why it's popular with kids. It's quick, it's easy, it's under 2 hours.
Yep.
Bing bang boom, and there's entertainment attached to it. And that's one thing. Like with the Wood summer back college team that I'm a part of here in Lethbridge. Dare I say, the games don't matter. Like it's the entertainment, it's everything else that matters. And then for baseball to even think that when they get say 45,000 people in that Rogers Center in Toronto, it's an event because they're winning. They're popular because they're popular. Like baseball's not the thing. It's the entertainment, and it's the place to be.
Yep.
And baseball's really got to figure that out with that many games. Like with football, because there's only 9 home games or 8 home games or whatever it is, that drives the tickets, right? That drives people to go because it's done so quick. Baseball doesn't have that. Like it gets too like there's no way, unless you're doing really well and on it goes, that you can afford to go to 81 games, drink a bunch of beer, eat a bunch of hot. Like it's just for the average person, it's not a thing.
No, it's not. It's not a thing, and that's why a lot of fans were upset with the Orioles that they changed their game package. We used to do like a 13. Now it's like nope, either 20, 40, or 60 or something, or 20 to 20 or 40 or something. It's like who even goes to 40 games? Like 50 games, like that's a lot of games.
That's a commitment. Like that's telling your wife or your husband or whoever that I'm away for 50 nights a year. It's one thing being down in your basement watching the games, but when you're going
100%,
you're catching either the train or the drive, parking.
Unless it's like an investment. Look, I know people, small majority of them, who do that, but it's because they sell them to the opposing fans. But other than that, it's like I don't know, man. That's a lot of that's a lot of games. So I'm with you. I'm actually impressed that you agree with because you're like me, an old school fan. So sometimes when I do talk to people my age or older and I say that, they're like, oh, I don't know. We got to kind of keep the tradition, but I don't know. Times are changing. And I understand that a lot of people, tradition and that's America's game. Sometimes you got to just change with the times. And it's it's not
nobody's like in general. Those same people aren't complaining that there isn't a DH there's really no American League, National League really when it comes down to it anymore.
Yeah,
so no one's really complaining about that anymore. No one's complaining there's no DH. No one's complaining that whatever stupid little.
It's like you'll get over it. You will get over it. And there were a lot of people complaining about the DH and the pitch clock and the. You know what? They're still watching baseball. They got over it. And I even know some who were like, you know what? I was wrong. It's kind of nice with the pace. Keep going.
It is. It makes everything. It just makes it better. There's a few other rules and things they could change.
Speaking of rules, oh my God, I can't wait for the strikes and balls.
That should have happened. It's because with the technology they have now, and I hate to crap on
so
umpires.
behind.
It's hard, but there's no. If minor leagues can do it, and if anybody like the way they have it with tennis, how it's instantaneous.
Yes.
It's instantaneous. So to say it's going to slow the game down, and you get the other guys saying, well, the call's got to be right and it's pure, or not the human error. Well, if it's your team gets screwed on the human error, how much you like your human error factor now?
You love the human element of the game at that, but yeah, right.
Oh, I love it, except for ask who was that umpire back in the 80s with the bad call with the Kansas City Royals and St. Louis Cardinals. Just an egregious miss. So do you like the human error there? Probably not.
No, right. God damn, what is his name? Someone was talking about him the other day. No, I agree 100%. It's always when, it works out for you. So I think
with the emergence of betting, they kind of have to go to it. They've already went to replay it on calls at first base.
Yeah.
So why aren't they doing it with
if you're going to be advertising all that, you got to get it right. And at the same time, I'm very happy that they're doing it. But my God, guys, it took you forever. This technology's been around for a long time.
A long time.
So
you get TrackMan technology. Every minor league ballpark's got it. There's a lot of college teams got it. Everywhere's got it. So just use it.
I'm sure if you're a conspiracy theory guy, there's a couple reasons you could maybe think of why. But whatever.
It's probably true.
Right.
It's just I don't know. I don't think the game's broken. I think it's still great. But
I don't think it's broken. Yeah, I just think there's a couple things that need to be fixed. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think it's
Is the have and have nots is that the biggest problem? You got the Sacramento, Oakland, Las Vegas A's, or who knows what's going to happen there. You got the Pittsburgh Pirates. Is that the bigger problem? You have teams that just they don't care if they win. It's this what we are, the Miami Marlins, the whoever. There's so many teams that if you went to you could go through the full roster teams right now, and you could probably pick 21 teams that aren't going to make the playoffs next year, or 20 teams, or whatever it could be.
Is
that a bigger problem?
It might be. I mean, it feels like it kind of was that way going 40, 50 years back too, I guess. I don't know. I mean, that's an interesting question. I'd have to kind of go back and look at it too. Like, well, was it like this way in the 80s or 70s? It's got to be a big problem, because I talked to other fans who are in other teams like that, like the examples you gave, and they're like, I love baseball, but it's like my summer's already ruined before the season even starts. And it's like, it's been like this for years, but they're like, I want to go to a game. I want to pay attention to them. I want to get invested, but it's just too sad, too depressing. And I talk to a lot of fans and other teams like that. And I think you're right. That is a big problem, but it's like, what do they do about it? I mean, I guess they got to change some things with the way the draft and the money. And do you have a floor and a ceiling? Like, I think maybe that conversation comes into play on, paying players. Maybe start with that. I don't know, but I agree. Something's got to get fixed with that. Because
the Orioles are out of the playoffs, not officially as of right now, but I think the writing's on the wall. The fat lady's not singing, but she sure is humming right now.
They're not mathematically eliminated.
But once you become a mathematician as a sports fan, your team's done. Like it's that's just kind of how it is, right? It's like once you bring the abacus out and sliding that back and forth, this isn't looking so good.
No.
What's going to happen off season? What's going to happen next year? What's your prediction for the Baltimore Orioles moving forward?
I think Mike Elias. I think they are going to actually make a big splash. I think the front office is a little embarrassed. They can say, "Oh, all these injuries," and no, come on. You have Bill Ripken, you got people ripping you on MLB Network. Like, we didn't do enough. And I think the way that this season happened, I think, that they put fans through the rebuild for so many years, and then 2 years later, here we are. So I think they are going to make a big splash, with pitching. I think they're going to spend some money on some arms and maybe get a bat. I just don't think they're going to stand still, and he's going to pick up 4 or 5 guys and hope one of them works out. Guys who, 230 lifetime average, but it's 5 of them, so one will work out. I do believe, and I know when I say this, I've said this on the podcast, and people were tweeting me like, "Oh, now you're an Elias believer." I only say that because it's like, at this point, he's got to make you can't do this anymore. And I gave him props how he built the farm system and the rebuild and the team. I'm not shitting on him from A to Z. I'm not. But once the team was built, the way that it was handled, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. So I think going into 2026, and again, like I said earlier with Rubenstein going, you watch, wait till 2026. I don't know what the hell that means. I still don't, but I think there's going to be, I think the Orioles, I think there's going to be some really fun moves. And I think Elias is probably thinking, well, I probably got to kind of win the fans back. Cause you got 5,000 fans showing up to games. You got to win them back, Mike. So I think coming into this year, I have high hopes.
Well, and the American League is there's nobody really running away with it. Like the Toronto Blue Jays kind of came out of nowhere this year, and look what they're doing, right?
Yeah,
and
they did come out of nowhere.
The Yankees they were left for dead a few weeks ago, and all of a sudden they're only 2 games out because there's some pretty bad teams that you could take advantage of.
I will say one thing real quick. I don't mean to cut you off, but I know you're a Yankees fan, and actually a Red Sox podcast invited me on the other night. I do kind of enjoy the Red Sox Yankees. It feels like the old rivalry a little bit, because here we are, you guys fighting, and when you guys had that series the other like a week ago, yeah, everybody that I know, we were texting and all watching it just kind of had that old early mid 2000s vibe again.
It really did, yeah. And then
and then 5 minutes later I'm like, the Orioles suck, screw them, but
screw them again. Let's
get back. I gotta say that's kind of gives you the old chill vibes again of the old although we're not watching benches clear as much as they used to. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's that I think that passion is basically gone from baseball.
Talked about that too.
Because players move around so much.
Yep.
And free agency and because even guys used to be, if you were an American League player, you were an American League guy. And this
100%. Yeah, the All-Star game I remember was even
it used to matter. And now because players free agency and they're all buddies and they all play in the perfect game stuff growing up, so they all know each other.
Yeah, every time they're on first base or hugging the other guy. Oh, hey.
So it's just a lot different.
I just don't think it's that way. Yes, there's always going to be a couple hotheads. There's always going to be, in the heat of the moment, you get hit with a 98 up in the ribs. Yeah, it's going to piss you off, but it's just not there. I think steroids had a lot to do with it too, but
there's a little more testosterone flying around back then for sure. That's there's no doubt about that.
I don't think we're going to see that kind of T levels out on the field anymore. But yeah, I that was one thing I did say. I said, I get bad season for the Orioles, but it was kind of neat to see the old Yankees and Red Sox rival go at it. Although I know, it kind of didn't work. I don't know. It was one of the games was 12-1. I meant to ask you what happened there. What was going on there with
they just the Yankees when they play against teams that are good, they're not very. And that's the big. And you up until this last couple of weeks, they went and beat up on the Nationals. Yeah, so there's a sweep, and then they got the. They won the last game of that Boston series, and then they're playing the Chicago right now. So you better win 7 in a row. You better win 8 in a row. But then when they play,
you guys a half game behind now, or what? Where you guys
2 out behind. They're 2 behind the Jays and 2 and a half game up on Boston right now. But they don't beat good teams. And that's just what it is. They just don't pitch it well enough, and they I think that they strike out too much, and it's just the same thing. And you hate to blame it on the whole season on one guy, but when he's got 19 home runs, so how much can you blame him? But his situational hitting is terrible, and so that's one guy. And it's one. So then you get another guy.
He's getting a lot of heat lately.
Oh, he's just if he would just play defense better, then one or the other. But he just doesn't do either well enough. And if you told me your shortstop's going to hit you 21 home runs and have 80 RBIs, you take it. But it's all the other stuff that he doesn't do well. And I think that they've kind of ruined that kid. And I don't want to say that Jackson Holliday is going to be the same way. But when you get brought up too early, and because you don't lose your skill, you lose your confidence. You lose that 7 3/8 between your ears.
100%.
And then you never get that back. You just everything you do wrong just gets magnified a little bit more. And then especially in Yankee land, it's just the way it is. And it's just a really.
That's why it's you just nailed it on the head. Yeah, I get there's growing pains, and like I said earlier, I hope he gets through it. But you're right. It kind of scars you.
Yeah.
when you have
And then
that.
who wants you? And then, okay, you're first round bust and
Oh, you
blah,
just turn
blah,
into a
blah.
head case
And
after that.
that gets behind you. Coming up on 30 years of the great Cal Ripken chase. And I saw that the Orioles are really advertising that they're having a 30-year anniversary. Maybe Cal will do the laps around the thing again. Is that just getting old?
That, you know what? Thank you for bringing this up, because I'm actually talking about this on my next episode in a couple days. And I may be in the minority and I might ruffle some feathers, but you know what's really pissing me off? I'm so sick. And like, we got to make some new memories. I'm so tired of 1983 night. And it's like 4 guys left now because no one's alive anymore. It's like,
I'm glad we're on the same page with this one, Nate, because
my God. And the 21-31, we're watching highlights in 1K low def, because back then they didn't have those guys. I'm so tired of these memory nights and these Cal Ripken. I love Cal Ripken. Cal, I love you. But can we get some new goddamn memories on this team? Because it's every season. It's the same thing. 1983 night and Cal Ripken night. It's just, it's getting annoying. And again, I thank you for bringing it up, because that's exactly how I feel. And other fans that I talk to as well, friends, family, they feel the same way. But it's frustrating.
I'm the same way with the Yankees and their old timers day and the 30th anniversary of this and that. It's the same freaking guys. Who cares? Right on.
I know. And it's frustrating because when they do the night,
right, you roll these guys out, and then you got people in the building who weren't even alive back then. That, this is the greatest thing. Shut up, TikTok superstar. Like, just shut up. This means nothing to you.
Oh, God, right? I know. And that's what they do every year, going back 20 years. In 1983, celebrating the year they won the World Series. It's like, used to be 12 guys on them. Now it's like 3 and 2 grandkids. It's like, no, there's no one around anymore. And like the kids, they don't even know who half the players are. It's getting, that's also what it is. Like, yes, of course, I want to win a World Series and we want to be good, but it's like, that's another conversation. Like, get some new effing memories in the Orioles organization. Actually, it's funny. A friend of mine who always sends me breaking news on like Orioles stuff just texted me something. I wanted to see if something was just sent to me. Hold on one second. Oh, never mind. It was a fantasy football bullshit. Never mind.
Yeah, he's got tickets to Cal Ripken night. Hey, do you want to go? Yeah. Not at all, actually. I'm good. Yeah. It's
right.
Baseball's all about tradition, but eventually,
of course,
some of the tradition's got to go away.
Baseball fans love tradition. They love the old school and the blah, 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 blah. But I agree. It's getting old. Yeah. It's getting old. I'll talk about Cal Ripken anytime, any day. Love the guy, but
what are they going to do? Have Cal trot around the field again in a car this time? Like, what's
we got to watch him wave to everyone in a convertible. Right.
Yeah. 30 years ago, I guess it's cool. Like, he played a lot.
And I'm hearing people next to me, trying to explain to their 17-year-old kid, who is this? Like, I don't know.
So the other guy's like, so he went to work every day and was supposed to? Right on, man.
He didn't call out sick, or he didn't use any of his PT. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a cool story.
Well, again, I will say that will never.
No, and just the way they have just rest days and everything else.
No,
and
then
the stories that you hear about how some of the how the streak stayed alive over the years with certain rainouts and certain situations. It kind of just you got kind of fortunate to be there, but it'll never be.
That is an impressive stat. I get it.
It is impressive.
You and I are on the same page exactly.
I shouldn't poo it so much, but right on. You went to work every day. So did I. Yeah, whatever. Just
I feel bad laughing at that, but I know.
Yeah, cool story.
It's what it is. That's what it is.
Here's your gold watch for going to work every day. Right on, man. Yeah. Oh, anyways, it's a lot of fun once again, man. Thanks for coming on.
Always love coming on, man. I'll come on anytime. I was talking to somebody tuned into the last episode of when I was on here, and a buddy of mine, he's like, oh my God, the guy, it was great. And he's an Orioles fan, but he tunes into your show now. I said, I got to bring you on because I want to start picking your brain on some situations with the Yankees and their organization. So I definitely want to have a chat with you. Because there's some things I want to talk to you
in your future. My wife's away in Greece for, she's been away a week already.
Oh, really?
For 2 more weeks. So I got a little bit more spare time on my hands. So
I might be, we might be talking. You got the Got the house to yourself. Damn. Okay.
It's been weird.
God
I
bless
gotta
you.
say, the first time in a long time, just do whatever I want. I'm not used to this.
Man.
It took me a
Wonder
few
why you
days to
had a
get
grin
used
on
to
your
it. And now I'm
face
like,
the whole
all right, yeah, this is good. This is
Yeah.
good.
I was wondering, you have a nice glow today. I was wondering
Not
what
everything
the-
has to be exact. It's not dirty, but not everything has to be in the rightful place all the time. And if there's a napkin on the counter, it's fine.
Right.
Just little things like
Yeah.
that.
Oh man. No wonder. I was wondering why you're grinning the whole time. Like,
yeah,
it's like he's in a great
it's
mood
a good thing
today.
she doesn't listen to this dribble, that's for sure. I'd be divorced, but yeah.
Hey,
Tell us all
ring?
about the Full Count Chaos podcast. What you got going on?
Of course, look, everybody knows how to get a hold of podcasts. Full Count Chaos. Hit me up on Twitter or X. I'm sorry. The kids call it now. Again, at Full Count Chaos. I'm starting to get things back up on Instagram and all that. But yeah, there you go. Just Full Count Chaos. Tune into the greatest team in baseball.
Yeah, real brutally honest talk about the Baltimore Orioles. You don't mind calling them out, which I appreciate.
No,
not everything's rainbow and unicorns. Not everything.
No, it's not. Sometimes it needs to be called out. Yeah.
Who's going to win the World Series?
Yankees.
You think so?
I think it's going to be Yankees and Dodgers. Yeah. I do. You guys are just a different beast when it comes to October. And I think you guys are getting sick and tired of the whole almost getting there. Red Sox, they don't have enough.
Padres, Astros in the least watched World Series in the history of the game. Well, no, it won't be as bad as that. What was a couple of years back?
I was
Rangers, Diamondbacks. That was
oh my god!
Yeah, I think I watched that one.
Yeah, that was like the advertisers paid them like $20 for each commercial.
Yeah, here's some Manscaped money, and that's it. There you go. All right, Nate. This was a lot of fun, and we'll do it again very soon. Thanks for coming on, and we'll chat very soon, man.
You got it, man. Take care of yourself. All right, I'm out of here. Run into my mother-in-law's house, so I will see you later, brother.
There you go. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Bye. Thanks for tuning into the 1420 Sports Bar podcast. For Beer and Sports talking a whole lot more, brought to you by SeatGeek. Go to bellyupsports.com for the best in sports articles and podcasts. Subscribe to our YouTube channel.